Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to this week's workshop with Nairobi Garage. For those of you who are here, thank you for taking the time to be here with us. I'll just ask that if you can hear me and the audio is fine, please give me a thumbs up in the chat section so that we can kick it off. Perfect. Thank you, Mel. Okay, so thank you, Mel. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Warukira. So my name is Simone Aska, and I am a community manager at Nairobi Garage in Karen. So those of you that may not be familiar with Nairobi Garage, allow me to do a brief introduction. So Nairobi Garage is actually Africa's largest and coolest co-working space. We are an innovation community and a co-working community. That means we are home to over 150 growth-focused innovative businesses. We have more than 1,000 entrepreneurs within our networks, and we have weekly events where our members get to connect with the wider business community in Kenya and in Africa. We believe that co-working drives innovation because whenever people share spaces, they tend to collaborate on things and create things they otherwise would not. And we host weekly workshops every Tuesday. And the goal of these workshops is to expose our community as well as the public to the larger business community and explore areas of interest that entrepreneurs within our community and ecosystem can interact with. So today we are pleased and have the pleasure and privilege to have the reputable Joan Thur. Joan is a career coach. She has a strong HR background and a proven track record of achieving results. She excels at career coaching, interview preparation, presenting client skills in a compelling manner, and just boosting client confidence in the process. She actually is on a mission to help individuals break the glass ceiling and soar all the way up to the corporate ladder and take up a seat at the big boss table. She utilizes her expertise to help individuals overcome self-doubt so that they can confidently articulate their value and position themselves for success in today's highly competitive job market. So her professional matchmaking skills aside, Joan has managed to build a strong brand with a vibrant online community of more than 54,000 followers on Instagram. Her audience engagement is record high, and when you mention Joan, the career coach, in any room in this town, you will definitely get a good number of people that recognize her brand. So we reached out to her and were curious to know, how did she manage to build such a strong online presence, and how did she leverage that presence to grow her brand? And that's what she'll be speaking about today. So she's going to be spilling the beans and sharing tips and tricks on her, based on her own experience, on how you can curate an online presence for your business and leverage the same to ensure that your brand is growing, you're building visibility, and you're maximizing on your market reach. So engage with us today in the chat section. Leave your questions in the questions tab, which is separate from the chat section. And we'll have some polls going up live in a few minutes. Kindly participate and engage with us. We are excited to have you with us. And yeah, let's get this going. So over to you, Joan.
Okay, thank you, Simone. Hi guys, again, thank you very much, Simone, for having me here for this workshop. I feel privileged and honored, and thank you again for that introduction. I hope everyone is doing very well. So today we are going to be talking about leveraging your social media presence to grow your business. And as a way of introduction, I just want to share with you guys, where I started. The first thing I want to say is when I started using social media, it was actually not for business. So it was actually for me, I started using social media as a page for inspiration. So if you can go to my Facebook, which is where I'd say, I started like really using social media. I used my Facebook page for, just like sharing inspiration quotes and sharing, my life journey, with people, because I felt that, when I'm sharing, various stories about my life, and, people are connecting to those stories and maybe learning something. So that, my journey with social media actually started with Facebook. And then I got into HR, and in HR and being a recruiter, I needed to use LinkedIn. So I started being active on LinkedIn, and the reason why I needed to be active on LinkedIn was because you're recruiting, you want to connect with potential hires. So it was important for me to grow my LinkedIn account, and of course I had the LinkedIn premium account. So I started growing my LinkedIn account. So throughout my journey when I was in corporate and when I was employed, the two platforms that I was really active on was Facebook and LinkedIn. Now when I started off, I left corporate, I left employment, and I started my own business. That I had been using LinkedIn before really helped me when I was, starting my business, because then I had already formed a community of people who, like trusted me, and I was regularly like sharing content. During my time as as a recruiter, of course, like at that time you're connecting with potential hires, you are connecting with different professionals, and you are like growing that network. So I would say that I had really grown my LinkedIn platform before I quit corporate, really helped in my business. So when I was starting my business, I already had a foundation. I remember maybe at the time I had probably around, I would say something like maybe 5,000 followers on LinkedIn. Like this was like maybe 4 years ago. But like that base, really helped, catapult like my presence on LinkedIn. Now, my Instagram. So today I'm probably at let's say around 54,000 followers on Instagram, but actually Instagram has been my latest platform, because I never used to use Instagram before. So like this following has grown over the past 2 years. And I would say that it was more accidental, quote unquote, than intentional. So I was, as I was trying to, grow my brand and my business, I think for me, I was just sharing out content because it was important for me to teach about CV and LinkedIn. So at the beginning, it was not intentional. So at first, I would say that it started off accidentally, and then it really picked up. So the Instagram platform has grown, has really grown over the past 2 years. So what I would want to share are some of the things that like I've personally used and I felt have been very beneficial, especially for the business. So today I run a business. The business is called Joan Meaning CV. I have a team of about 18 people. So basically what we do is we do CVs, we do LinkedIn profiles, we do cover letters for professionals, not only in Kenya, we are in about 18 countries. The other services include, career coaching, interview preparation, career counseling, helping professionals develop their personal IDs, career IDs, still also like use their social media presence, and basically everything around career. So we are actually a very big team. I remember when COVID hit, so this was in 2020, I actually thought that we'd be out of business, because then I'm thinking, there's this pandemic, will guys do CVs? Are guys really interested in doing their LinkedIn profiles? But I think what happened when Corona started was that now people were looking for like other opportunities. People were home. People had more time to rethink about their career journeys. So the business really grew during the pandemic. What happened was, because then we were at home, I also had more time to develop content, and that's the first thing that I would want to say. So now we've started now talking about. I want to give you guys 7 points that you want to think about if you're thinking about growing or rather using your social media to grow your business. The first thing is content. So for me, because we were at home during the pandemic, I had a lot of time to just sit at home and think about, what kind of content do I want to share. If you are thinking about using social media, you will have to create content. And I know for most people, if you're not very conversant with social media, or if you're a private person, or if you feel, like being on social media, I'm really, I'm putting myself out there, I really don't want to do that, this can pose a challenge. I have, in my journey as a career coach, met many individuals and many professionals who come to me and say, Joan, like maybe 2 years ago, I knew LinkedIn was important, but then I didn't do so much, or rather, I've not been doing so much on my LinkedIn profile because I'm so afraid of sharing things, like on my LinkedIn. So what has happened is, then now we are in 2021. If you did not start, building your LinkedIn profile, for example, like maybe 2 years ago, you see how starting now can be really challenging, because it's like you are trying to do something and trying to understand everything that needs to be done on this LinkedIn profile, on this TikTok profile, on this YouTube channel, and it can be overwhelming. So you have to create content. Creating content, you must. If you're feeling very uncomfortable, or if social media makes you uncomfortable, you can pick one platform. So we have LinkedIn, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have YouTube, we have Twitter. You have to pick one platform that you are comfortable with. You see, a platform like Instagram, for example, it's more about like photos and videos, etc. They limit the amount of characters that you can put on an Instagram post. So like, for example, I love writing a lot. So I find Instagram very limiting in terms of, I cannot put out like very long posts, but then I'm able to do that on my Facebook. So I don't know if you're the kind of person who would rather use like photos or videos as opposed to writing, then you probably don't want to use Facebook. You want to use a platform like IG. Like I've talked about creating content. So that is important, that you must do. Then the second thing is, this content has got to be consistent. So you cannot like put out like a very good post or video today and then wait 2 weeks or like 2 months. The content has to be consistent. You have to keep posting, whether you get 1 like or 0 like, or like no one is watching. I can guarantee you, actually, there are many times, especially when you start your business, you're trying to tell your relatives, please like my page. I'm selling handbags, I'm selling weaves, I'm selling shoes. I have this service where I'm helping with like computer IT services, for example. And no one wants to like your content, no one wants to share. Of course, it can do something to your ego, but I would want to encourage you to keep sharing out the content. So let me tell you my own personal example. A few years back, I used to beg people to let me do their CVs. I used to literally beg people. And I'm begging someone, I'm like, please, can I just please let me do for your CV, so that then you can tell your friends. And people used to refuse. So now those same people want to come back and they want those CVs for free. So what I want to tell you is, whether it's like you're selling handbags, or you're baking like cakes, or you are doing people's hair, you are selling weaves, create that content and share it. And sometimes people, they see you, but they're not going to like or share or do like all that, but I can guarantee you they see you. So even if like you don't get any traction or any kind of interaction, you need to be consistent. Like, you need to keep putting out that content. Then the other thing is, so you have this product or service that you're selling, you have created the content. So this content can be around like maybe photos or videos. You are now like you're being consistent in terms of like like sharing out the content. The other thing that you want to think about is collaboration. So I would talk about collaboration. It's the same as networking if you are employed. So your network is your net worth. if you are to grow your audience, because remember, if you're selling a product or a service, you need people that you can sell this product or service to. If you're selling cakes, and only 50 people are able to view you, you see, you only have 50 potential people and all their networks that you can sell this cake to. So what you are trying to do is expanding, you're trying to expand this like your target audience. And that is where now the social media comes in. So let's say Simone bakes cakes and she's looking to sell cupcakes. Now she has a page on Facebook, and on her Facebook page, she has maybe 1,000 followers. So if every day for the next 6 months she's putting out posts, like a post and a video about these cakes, you see how the only people that she's able to access are these 1,000 followers on Facebook plus their followers. But just imagine if Simone put out that same post about the cake on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter. You see that she expands the people who potentially are going to see that she bakes cakes. So you want to, of course, creating the content and sharing out is really important. But then you also want to think about now expanding that target audience. And how can you expand that target audience? You want to be on the various, like on the various social media platforms, because as we said at the beginning, it's not only one. There are different kinds of platforms. You could find that you are probably comfortable on Facebook and not Instagram, or you're probably comfortable on TikTok and not Twitter. So find the one that that you're very comfortable with, and then like use that as a base, because then trying to be on all the platforms all at once might be very difficult. Also try and find other people. So like if Simone is a baker and she's looking to grow her bakery, she wants to look for other bakers on that Facebook who are like selling the cake. Is there like can you find some common meeting grounds, and like can you guys exchange ideas when maybe this person maybe they have a wedding and they're not able to deliver those cakes at that particular time, they can hand over some of the clients to her. So when you are growing your business also, like you cannot do away with collaboration. You have to collaborate with other people who are in like your line of business. Then the other thing that is really important, and I think now this might be the the make or break if you're trying to use social media to grow your brand, is you need to understand how the various platforms normally work. How LinkedIn works is not the same as how Facebook works, it's not the same as how Instagram works, and it's not the same as how Twitter works. So like now, for example, let's talk about LinkedIn, for example. So if you're selling shoes, or if you're selling weaves, or if you're selling something like perfumes, for example, you see how probably LinkedIn might not be the best platform, because the people who are on LinkedIn are professionals, are people who are trying to use LinkedIn to to find a job or to find connections. So most of the time, the people who are there on LinkedIn, it's more professional. They're trying to look for work, or they're trying to get people to work for them. So a platform like Facebook, for example, when people go on Facebook, they go onto Facebook to probably relax. They want to see what other people are posting. They want to catch up with other people's things and posts and all that. So if you're selling perfume or hair or shoes, you see how if you post it on Facebook, it's probably going to get more traction than, for example, LinkedIn. A platform like TikTok, for example, which now TikTok is a very new platform. So many people like don't know about it. For me, I remember in 2020, someone told me about, I think, yeah, it was 2020 when just the pandemic had just started. And someone, just asked me, Joan, you should be on TikTok. And I'm like, you must be out of your mind. Why would I be on TikTok? Like doing what? And I really, like I thought they were not making any sense. But I actually just, like started doing like very short TikToks. So the first thing is I actually found it very fun and therapeutic, because then it's very short and they're like, like very short videos, and I'm able to put the message across. It could be like about CV or a LinkedIn profile, or something like that. Because then in 2021, many people are saying that if you put out an advert on TikTok, it really does well, because everyone is on TikTok now. And you see, the thing is, someone is going to go on TikTok as like maybe therapy, or they're just going there for a laugh. So as they're going on TikTok for a laugh, they're going to see your shoe that you're selling, or like maybe you are like you sell phones or you sell dresses. So it's like you're looking for where the masses are, and you are trying to tailor your content to suit the target in that platform. Sometimes you could think that a platform might not work for you, and that you don't know how to use the platform can make you shy away from using that particular platform, and actually it could be the one that could give you a break. So you need to understand the technicalities of all these platforms. So like now, for example, TikTok, on the TikTok platform, TikTok is not just for people who are not serious with life. People are making serious money on TikTok. It's also a very easy platform. Like, it's because then you only have 60 seconds. Some people might find it very difficult to like do like a short TikTok in 60 seconds, but you might actually find that if should you decide to use TikTok as your preferred social media platform to grow your brand, you could actually do many TikToks in one day, and you'd spend less time creating content for your business, as opposed to a platform like Instagram, for example, where you have to take really quality photos. So like now, for TikTok, the videos need to be interesting and fun for it to do well. On Instagram, the quality of the photos need to be very good. The quality of the videos need to be very good. So you see, on Instagram, you might have to invest a little bit more if you are to get the traction. A platform like LinkedIn, for example, how the LinkedIn algorithm works is, for your profile to pop up, for your LinkedIn profile to do well, or for your LinkedIn profile to pop up, you will have to be very consistent. You will have to create content whereby people are coming in and commenting. You could have the best LinkedIn profile in the world, but if no one is commenting, or you have a very good profile, but you have 212 followers, and these 212 followers are probably like maybe they are pilots, or like maybe they are doctors, and you are in procurement. So you see, even if you put out procurement content, this pilot is not going to comment, and this doctor is not going to comment. So you need to have a good LinkedIn profile, yes, but you need to build a community around you that is going to engage with that content. Otherwise, your profile is going to remain hidden in the dark. A platform like Twitter, for example, you need to think about like a punchline, because you don't have the luxury of so many words. How the Twitter platform works is completely different from these other platforms. Like, one of the things that I think is very recent is the my spaces on Twitter, which is really good, because then it only uses audio. And so you can, my spaces is something on Twitter that you can really use to grow your platform. There are people who would shy away completely from Twitter and say that Twitter is for bullies. There's no way I can grow my presence on Twitter. But especially now, if you are looking for very serious connections, of course there are people on Twitter who are are going to be like bullies, or they're going to do XYZ, but it is possible for you to also connect with people who can add value to your business on Twitter. There are people who are actually only on Twitter, so it's the only platform that they use. So you see, if you say that I'm not going to use my Twitter account, you are blocking yourself off from people who would potentially help you to grow your business. So I think at this point, I would want to take some, I don't know, Simone, if we start with the questions or the poll, maybe the poll.
Okay, so I think we'll start with the poll. Maybe I can just have a look here at the screen we have. So we started by asking people, what social media platforms do you currently use for your business? So we have 30% saying that they use Instagram, 27% saying they use Facebook, 20% saying they use LinkedIn, 13% saying Twitter, 7% saying other, and only 3% saying YouTube. I'm curious to know what other is. I think if you voted for other, please let us know in the chat section what other is for you. Possibly TikTok, like you mentioned, but it's also good to see that a lot of people are using Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk a little bit then about Instagram, because then most of us are there. And let me just briefly share my journey on Instagram. So as I said, I think 2 years ago, so this is 2020, I probably had 5,000 followers. Today, I think I have about like 54,000. So how did I grow? So how did I grow my presence on Instagram? The first thing I want to say is, I did not start on Instagram. As I said at the beginning, I started on Facebook and LinkedIn. So when I was starting on Instagram, I had some sort of presence on LinkedIn and Facebook. So my intention when I was thinking about my Instagram page, number one, I wanted to create content that job seekers can content that would inspire job seekers. There are we have so many job seekers. There are people who are really trying to get jobs and they don't have these jobs. There are people who have been going for interviews and they don't seem to get a breakthrough. There are people who've been applying for jobs, they're not getting any jobs. So I know that if you can see someone else getting a job, or if you see someone else, this person, they were out of employment and they tried looking for jobs and they couldn't get any job, but then they revamped their profile, they revamped their CVs, and they're able to get jobs. This might inspire people to now also want to revamp their profiles. So that was my when I was thinking about the content of that I wanted to create on Instagram, it was content that was tailored mainly for job seekers. And with time, as I did like the short videos, because I think at the beginning what I used to do was just short videos. And I could tell, if today, like I go to bed and I have like 1,500 followers, tomorrow I could tell that like that number kept increasing. So I just kept doing the same thing, like sharing the content very, very consistently. If you follow me on Instagram, one thing that you can say is that I'm really, really consistent, and that is very intentional, because you see, if I'm not consistent, it means then my brand is not growing. The other thing is, so Instagram has various things. So there's the Instagram reel. You can put like just a video on your Instagram page. There's Instagram live. So knowing these three things and how you can use them to your advantage is very, very important. So let's talk about reels. For example, reels are very short. If you put out a short video, and you can actually experiment this on your Instagram when you get some time. If you put out a video on your page, and you put out the same video on your reel, the reel is going to do much better. Because again, people go to watch reels as a way of relaxing and just passing time and all that. So as they're going to relax and as they're going to look for something to make them laugh, they're going to stumble upon your reel. And if they see that you are consistent, now they'll be coming to your page to see today, like, what has this person posted. So the reels are very short. coming up with a reel is very difficult actually, because then you need to think about the message that you're trying to portray, and then you need to look for a sound, and then you need to shoot like that particular thing. But I can guarantee you that reels do very, very well. If you are looking to grow your brand on Instagram, you want to use the reels. Reels, I would say, is my number one. And then the other thing that is usually very important is Instagram live. And for one reason or the other, many people don't like going live, because it's a bit like nerve-wracking and all that. But also Instagram live would go a really long way for you to grow your brand. And why is this? It's because then if Simone Simone sells cakes and she goes live on Instagram, and I can be able to see her in real time and connect with her, then I am buying these cakes from someone. Because you see, when you do a video where it's pre-recorded, it's not, you don't connect with someone as much as you do if it's on Instagram live. So because one of the things that is usually very important if you're trying to grow your social media presence is, are you connecting with your with your community, this community that you're building? Are you connecting with them? Can they trust you? And one of the ways of building that connections is regularly going live. So go live with whatever product or service you're selling, whether it's a weave. You can go live now showing that, like today we have like this, like these fresh, weaves, or it could be a service like maybe you're a tutor. You can go live as you are, trying to come up with like a curriculum or something like that. So and you'll notice that the first time you go live, you'll probably have 10 people. That's okay. Just keep going live. Consistency is everything. Then the other thing that I would say I have done on my Instagram page is, so what is usually most important is you want to, as much as possible, to grow your audience organically. And when I say organically is, you have the option of promoting. You have the option of promoting your page, but that cannot be the go-to strategy for you to grow your brand. Because you see, when you so like number one, promoting your page is expensive, because like you're spending money to promote that page. You cannot promote a page that is initially dead. It's not going to work. So you are going live on Instagram, you are using reels, you are consistently putting out content. Now, if you promote your business after you've done all these things, it's going to work to your advantage. I've seen so many people, like maybe you wake up one day and like you have a small business, and then you wake up one day and you feel, clients are really not coming to your page so much, and you decide your first, thing is to promote that page, and that's a mistake. The first thing should be do a reel, do a live, collaborate with someone, like maybe if both of you sell wigs, or maybe if both of you are doing something like, for example, something like you have this business that offers tours or something like that. Have a sit down and have those conversations. That should be the first place to go, as opposed to promoting your page. Promoting your page really works well, but then after you have done all these other things. Then the other thing that I would say about Instagram, it's really important that you connect with the people who are following you, and it's connecting in terms of if you're able, when people send you a message on your DM, that you are responding, and that you are responding in real time. So like now, for example, for me, the business reached a point where it became almost impossible to respond to each and every message, because then if I'm to dedicate resources particularly to answer to the messages and the comment section, it means then we are now focusing more on that. So what I would say is, you need to, of course, like connect with people, but then if you're not able to connect with them, then you need to find a way of ensuring that if these same clients reach out to you, there's a way that they can be helped. So like now, for example, for Joan winning CV, at first we were able to, like respond to messages, but then now we are not able to. So what has worked for us is when you reach out to Joan winning CV, you have to send an email, because then when you send an email, we are able to track that response, that response. But if you send a message on, like now, for example, Instagram, I can guarantee you there are probably like 2,000 other messages. So you see the rate, or how can I put it, that you're going to get quality feedback, or that you're going to get quality, or you're going to be helped on my Instagram inbox is very low, as opposed to if you send an like an email, for example. So find a way that you are well best or well able to connect with your with your community, because then that connection is very important. If people feel that you are not connecting with them, or if people feel that they reach out to you and you're not responding to them, then that trust might be broken and they may not want to buy your product or your service. The other thing is that you remember, people buy things from people they love. So like I might buy the cakes from Simone because I like her. Maybe she sells cakes, she bakes these cakes, but then I go to her Instagram page and maybe I sent her an inbox and she responded back, or I commented about her beautiful dress and she responded back. Just that she responded or she liked, like, that comment might make me buy this thing from her because I like her. So also remember, like remembering that people buy products and services from people that they like is really important. So, you're going to do, or you're going to go an extra mile in ensuring that this community of people that reach out to you, and you are connecting with them and that you're responding to them, given it's social media. So you meet all kinds of people. There are people who are genuine, there are people who are not genuine. It's actually very difficult to know, and to separate the good from the bad. But if you've already come up with like a good system in place, so like now, for example, you can come up with a system in which you know that if somebody reaches out to you on your Instagram inbox, they probably get an automatic response. For example, if you're still growing and if it's still at the very initial stages, you're probably responding to each and every Instagram message. But what I would tell you is ensure, even when you're having 100 followers, that you respond to each and every message, whether it's an auto response or it's a personalized message that you are responding. I, for one, I can tell you, I almost read all messages and all emails. I know maybe Florence does not believe that, but I actually do, because then if you are growing a business, and it's going to be very impossible if you're not, or rather, if you don't know what's going on with your business, it's going to be very difficult for you to know where the problems are. So, and you see, I started reading all the emails and all the messages from when we had 1,000 followers. And then, of course, as we have been growing, we've had to come up with different systems that work. Right now, as I said, it's literally impossible to personalize or to respond to each and every Instagram message, for example. But if you send an email, you'll definitely get assisted, you'll definitely get help. So you really need to know how can you best connect with your target audience. For me, also, the other thing that I've done, or I'm using to try and connect with the people, with my community, is now, using the videos and ensuring that I'm sharing out reels. I recently started a podcast. And so for me now, this podcast is also a way of connecting. And you see, this podcast, I'm able to share it on my YouTube, which now is another, another social media platform. And the good thing about a podcast, you can take the visual and you can take the visual, you can take the video, and you can also take the audio. So there are people who just want to listen only without watching. There are people who would prefer to watch and listen. So a podcast has helped me, like also, try and, diversify in terms of my content. So it's also something that you could actually think about, because maybe you might say that I'm really shy on camera. I don't like being on camera. So a case in point, I recently did a podcast with one of members of my team, and he is really uncomfortable on video. But like if you put him or if it's like an audio something, he's amazing, and he's going to talk like for hours and hours. So just because probably you're really not confident on like video does not mean that you should stop sharing content completely. You could think about starting a podcast. And actually, a podcast is very easy to start. There are many, like hosts, or like many places where your podcast can be hosted. And it's something that you can just record from the comfort of like your home. To start off, it doesn't have to be like really quality audio, but the most important thing is that you start. So Simone, I don't know if you can take some questions.
Yes, we can. So we have 3 questions actually.
All right.
We can start with Kodek's question. He asks, Joan, what constitutes a dead page? Also, would it work to do a content-based promotion to get followers?
Okay, so let me first start with what would constitute a dead page.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to say is, I know we are all, I think I don't know why we are so obsessed with followers. Like I just want 10,000 followers. Like I want 5,000 followers. But no, the problem is, if your end goal is the followers, that's where you drop the ball. Because Simone, you might have 5 followers, but you have a very quality page. So the number of followers does not make a page a quality page. I could have 50,000 followers, but all I'm sharing is a lot of nothing. So let's not use the number of followers to determine whether a page is fruitful, or it's beneficial, or it's dead or alive. It's the content that you're sharing. It's the meaningfulness of the content that you're sharing. That is, for me, what I'd call, if I know of a page that has maybe 100,000 followers, and it is a dead page to me, because when I go to that page, there's nothing I'm getting from it. So I would say what makes a page alive or dead is not followers, it's the quality of the content in there. And then the second question was,
would it work to do a content-based promotion to get followers?
Okay, so so a content-based promotion would be now, like sharing so first thinking about the content that you want to share. And do you want to share it in terms of photos? Do you want to share it in terms of videos? Do you want to do a live? Do you want to collaborate with someone? Do you want to call like someone on your page, and then like you do a collaboration? It is very effective if you're trying to grow your followers. So like now, for example, like I would tell you, so like this collaboration with Nairobi Garage, for example, I know because of the collaboration, there are guys who are going to follow me who are following Nairobi Garage, for example. And there are people who are going to follow Nairobi Garage who are following me, because then they're going to see, oh, these guys, this is what they do, etc. Yeah. So of course, if you're thinking about creating content and sharing that content, it is going to grow your followers. Yeah.
Okay. So there's another question here from FK, and he asks, hi, Joan, what are your thoughts on the perception that advertising on some social media platforms, and he mentions TikTok, Instagram, and even Facebook, may seem not serious, not professional, especially for professional services? To just add on, I think maybe to give a little perspective. So, for example, some of the businesses that we have here at Nairobi Garage are companies that either deal with big corporates, they themselves are a big corporate, or their clientele are big corporates that may not be very active on social media to look at, okay, what are these people doing on Instagram? So I think that's where FK is coming from in asking, when I advertise on TikTok and Instagram, and my target audience, for example, is not looking there, is it giving my business the impression that we are not professional? or that we are not serious?
I get it, and this is actually something that is so unfortunate. For a very long period of time, like maybe 3 years ago, if you can remember, if you told someone you're always on Instagram, you'd look like you're not very serious with life.
Yeah.
Or now TikTok is even worse. Like what
Yes.
like what are you doing there?
Yeah.
But then there are people who've refused to almost change with the times, because truth of the matter is people are on, even CEOs and like very serious people, and like everyone is on social media. So they are on Instagram, they are on LinkedIn, they are on this TikTok. And actually what people have done is they actually access content using pseudo accounts, these like very serious people. And so for me, what I would say, because pushing any product online is it's never going to be a bad idea. Whatever it is that you're selling, like nowadays people are actually not even advertising on TV anymore. Like you have higher chances of converting or getting more clients on social media as opposed to like putting an advert on TV. When was the last time you watched like Citizen? Or you see, like you cannot remember.
Yeah.
So I would, but then I know there are people in leadership still even now who would say that we don't want to promote our business on Instagram, or they'll be caught dead promoting their business on TikTok. It's because I think they still don't know, or they have not come like with the program that things have really shifted, and there are so many people who are still like holding on to the thing that these platforms are not serious. If you're sharing out content, like you're not a serious person, why are you doing that? But the people who have gotten with the program and they are making advertisements on Instagram, on LinkedIn, even on TikTok, they are seeing a turnaround in their businesses. So if I was someone like that, I would approach the leadership with numbers, you see, or approach them with something that works. You can't just tell them that, or you can't just approach your CEO or someone in leadership and say, I want to put out something on TikTok. They may not understand who is TikTok and why are we putting the advert there. But what I would say is there's no day that advertising on these social media platforms can disadvantage you in any way. Maybe there's some leadership that would refuse, or also because of the age gap, they might not see the usefulness or beneficial, the benefits of advertising using these platforms. But I feel like this change is slowly coming, because also on LinkedIn, there are people who would say, I never want to be on LinkedIn because it's also social media. But you see, you close yourself up off from so many connections, so many collaborations, and so many people that would have access to you and your business. Yeah.
I would actually chime in and say, I think the assumption that this maybe FK is making, as well as, and what he's afraid that other people are making, is that content on these social media platforms has to be very casual, has to be like it's not something that you would ordinarily see, for example, on TV or print media. But I think it's still possible to be on these platforms and create content that aligns with the market you're trying to reach.
Right,
you
correct.
can create very professional content on Instagram, very professional videos on TikTok, and it will reach your audience in the best way possible.
Exactly. I really like that point.
Yeah. Okay, so he or she actually also asked, how do you handle cyberbullying in the social media space where people post a negative comment on your page?
I wish Flo would take this one, but so when you put yourself out on social media, you need to be prepared and you need to be ready that something is going to happen, or you're going to put out something and people are going to come at you, guns blazing. So that you are aware of this before, that like when you're putting out content, there are people who are going to like your services. There are people who would like our services as Joan. There are people who find our services horrible. There are people who will complain about this and that. You will at probably at one point or the other get bullied. So for me, I really use the block button very, very well. I do not shy away from using the block button. But then also, I think also over the years, I've developed like very thick skin, because when someone says something negative about you or about your business, or again, let's use Simone's bakery shop. So Simone has spent the whole night baking cakes, and then she puts out the cake, takes a picture and puts on Instagram. Then I go there and say, like, you not have thought of like a different designs of this, of these cakes. Of course, you're going to feel like really bad, and you'll probably not even post for the next 2 weeks. But you see, when someone is bullying you on social media, it's them who have an issue, not you. So trying to separate that sometimes can be difficult. That and it's even in other interactions, when someone abuses you, whether online or even one-on-one, or says something negative to you and about you, it's them with a problem and not you. So once you realize that, then you can read that comment and just pass, or you read it and block the person. It's not going to get to you. But I know there are people who are cyberbullied, and after that they are never able to create content anymore. They close down their pages. But you see, now that's really disadvantageous to your business. Yeah,
and I think it's also important to separate your personal identity from your brands online. Then when people are giving this critical feedback, you're not taking it personally. You are looking at it as feedback about my brand. And sometimes, while people's language might not be kind, maybe unkind, the feedback may be accurate. They might be telling you that this product or your service is missing the mark because of this. So the language might be wrong, but it's important to separate your person from your brand, so that you can be able to pull that feedback and say, okay, this is the feedback we've received from our content online. This is what our clients, our market is saying about our product or service. And this is how we can pivot. This is how we can accommodate them.
Right. I really like that, because then like that feedback from the clients is what is going to help you, like grow and know like the areas that you need to improve. Someone could be you could take a comment as like being bullied, but then if you're not being objective, then you cannot be able to separate, is this criticism that I need to think about and correct, or should I completely block and throw away?
True. Okay, so Kuresh also asks an important question. When a visitor visits the page to find less followers, they decide even not to browse the page. And he says this is a fact. I'm guessing this is based on his own experience. So he asks, is this not a loss for the business? I think his question is coming from your comment about the followers not being the main point to focus on.
But just imagine, Simone, like I stopped following Nairobi Garage's page because I've seen minus 15K. Isn't there a problem with me and not, you see, and I'm being very honest when I say my focus has never been like on followers and numbers as it is like creating the content. So if someone says they're going to unfollow you, or if like maybe I put out a video and you disagree with it, and then you say, I'll stop following you. I've been following you for 15 years, but not because of what you said, I'm going to unfollow you. Unfollow, like, because you see, someone unfollowing you or having people unfollow your page, I'll only think about it, or it's going to be a point of learning if indeed I put out something that was not good, or it was not thought through, or it offended someone and it made me lose followers because of something that I did wrong. But if there's nothing that you did wrong and someone decides to unfollow your page because of their own personal reasons, you see, then you really thinking so much about it is not accurate. And I like what you've said. If you're able to see this, unfollowing or this criticism in very good eyes, so that then you're able to separate what is good and what is bad. And whatever it is that you can take to help you grow your business, then that's good. But let's not be so fixated on the followers and who is following and who is unfollowing, because it's going to make you lose your whatever your direction and your focus. Because the focus always, it's to create content, to share the content. The followers are going to come organically. Yeah.
Okay, so I see we have one more question here that Joseph had posted asking, how can I effectively narrow down the target audience, that is the followers and connections, for my social platforms, so that I'm not just getting many followers with little to no engagement?
I love that question. And to answer this question, it's the kind of content that you put out. So like now, for example, you see, Nairobi Garage is a co-shared workspace. Joan, meaning CV, like I do CVs. So the kind of your target audience are, business people. My target audience is job seekers, people, professionals. Now, how the different social media platforms normally work is now, like for example, the more I put out content on job seekers, this is how you write a CV. Other like job seekers, because I don't know if you've ever promoted a page. There's a place where it tells you pick your followers and other people like your followers. So if my followers are job seekers, when you promote a page, it's going to pick like other people with the same characteristics. So like now for Nairobi Garage, for example, your target audience are like business people, and so you always want other business people across the world to to follow the page. When you promote your Instagram page on you promote a post on Instagram, for example, it's going to bring a place where as you're picking the audience or who the post needs to be promoted to, it shows you, should I pick other people who are in my like the same characteristics are the ones who are following you. So at one of the ways of narrowing down the kind of people who follow your page is create a promotion. But remember, when you're creating this promotion, it must be after you've done the reels and the lives, and just not a promotion from whatever. So, and then as you're creating this promotion, because on Instagram it tells you to pick the audience, so you select the characteristics of this audience, this age, male, female, this industry. So as you promote the page, then your page goes to very specific people. So I would say promoting a page really helps you in narrowing down the kind of audience that you have. I think I've also seen that on my page. So that then it's more job seekers and professionals coming to my page and not other people, just other random people. Yeah.
I think Joseph's question was actually well thought out, because at the end of the day, as a brand on social media, you should not be targeting so many followers,
right,
as much as followers who are actually going to engage with your brand.
Right.
Because if your target, for example, is to have sales leads come out of this content you're sharing and these people who are engaging, then it does not help you to have 50,000 followers who have no interest in your brand.
Exactly.
Are just there because wow, it's pretty.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to make sure that even if you only have 2,000 followers, these are the people that are engaging with your brand, buying from you, recommending you to other people.
Exactly.
That would be more useful than the 50,000.
Exactly. And even when and I'm sure it's something that even like companies have come to know when they're working with influencers. Someone could have 100,000 followers, and someone else would have like 1,000 followers, or even like 2,000 followers. But these 2,000 followers, like this person with 2,000 followers, if they were to post something, all these 2,000 people are going to buy this product or service. So the numbers, the number of followers, that's not as important as are you forming a community around you that trusts you, that likes you, that believe in the product and service that you're selling, and then also that you're extending yourself a lot of grace. Even if you get 15 likes and 10 likes, that you just continue being consistent whatever it is that you're sharing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So looking at the polls again, I see that we asked actually on which social media platform does your business receive the most engagement? That is comments, likes, or shares. And 44% said Instagram, 31% LinkedIn, 25% Facebook. So I see that so far from our audience, Instagram is the most engaging platform.
Yeah.
Why would you say that is the case, Joan?
So I would say that is the case because, okay, let's even just do a small, like even here, you probably use Instagram more than, right?
Yes.
Even you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the reason why it's because most of us will go onto Instagram to, like you want to check out like photos. I think it's because of how how Instagram started. It's sharing photos, and people want to look at beautiful photos. So I think that is the reason why then, you'll find that if you want to try and grow your business, you probably want to go onto Instagram. Also because if you're looking to buy anything, where do you go?
Instagram.
Yeah. So you could be on Instagram trying to look for, like shoes and a weave, or you're trying to look for like an office to rent. Then as you are trying to look for shoes and buying here, you see, Simone is selling cakes, and you might want to buy the product from her. So I think the reason why Instagram is becoming very popular is because people are going there, first of all, to shop, for entertainment and things like that. Then as they are looking for shoes and as they are getting entertained, it's very easy for them to see your particular product and service that you're selling. And then now the other one that I feel is really getting a lot of traction is TikTok, because now most people are going to TikTok as a way of just therapy, and they just want to look for a laugh. So as they're going there to laugh and all that, they're going to see your product or service. So yeah, I think that's the reason why.
Yeah. Okay. So then I also asked, how often do you post content on your social media pages? I see that most people said once in a while.
And you have a business.
I think then this will explain why we are seeing very low engagement, why people are saying followers are not coming on board.
Yeah.
Because if you're posting content once in a while, then out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. And I think we really need to separate, like you are trying to grow your business. So like personally, when I wake up in the morning, you see, if I do not post, it means my business is struggling. That should give you enough motivation to want to create content. It's not like we really enjoy, by the way. It's not fun. If I would have my way, I would never ever, you will not catch me dead or alive, like creating like the videos because it's honestly, it's a lot of work. But that, when I do this, when you put out a video, when you put out a TikTok, when you put out a reel, it's going to grow the business, it's going to grow the target audience. You have to do it. And unfortunately, now, especially a platform like LinkedIn, for example, if you're not consistent, your profile remains hidden in the dark. Actually, even Instagram. Sometimes you'd go onto Instagram, and then there are profiles that you're never going to see them because they never they never share out content. One of the things that can really help you with sharing content is come up with a calendar. And every Tuesday and Thursday, tell yourself, every Tuesday and Thursday I'm going to be posting a reel. But then, of course, before you post, you need to have thought about the content and maybe done the videos. You can even decide on this day, all I'm going to do for like maybe 3 to 4 hours, I'm going to be like doing the videos. You need to come up with the social media calendar to help you become consistent. But it's something that you must, in this day and age, you must do if you are to grow your business. Yeah,
I agree. I think a lot of people assume that social media is a lot like old school marketing platforms that we had. For example, if you're doing an advert on TV, or if you're doing a billboard, once the billboard is up,
Kwisha,
that's it.
yeah.
You don't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
But social media now, the difference is that it's ongoing.
Every day, every day. Because what was popular yesterday, today we've forgotten about it.
Exactly.
We are moving on to the next thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking about that, knowing that every single day there are new things coming up and that there are new trends coming up, how important is it for a business to stay relevant with regards to what is currently trending, and versus how do they maintain their own like FKS, professional content, while still trying to be relevant to whatever is happening now in the present?
That's a very good question. So let me just use my own personal example. So if you notice, my content is quote unquote very boring. Like sometimes I feel, as compared to other, I don't want to be more hype than that, but the way I am, it's very constrained. But then now, last year I knew I had to get onto TikTok. I mean, I cannot create those TikToks that other people are creating. So I needed to look for someone who is very good at TikTok, and then and work together with them. So I tell them, I want to talk about the don'ts, or the things that you should never wear, or you should never say when you're going for an interview. How can we do this as a TikTok? So I'm creating a TikTok. It's fun, but then I want the message is also being delivered. Because then you cannot say, because you want very serious, and you want your content to be very serious, that then you leave out the fun part entirely.
Yeah.
So you want to collaborate with people who are doing those TikToks, and they are funnier, and they're basically very different from you, and see where that meeting point is. These creatives are the same people who will know what's trending. I will not know. Like I probably, I don't know, what's trending today and what was trending yesterday. But if you surround yourself and work with people, and also invest, so I'm sure businesses will have a budget for marketing. You probably want to allocate a small budget on a social media person, and you want to ensure that the person that you're hiring are with it. So you see that they are with it and they know, means then you're not really thinking about it, and someone else has the headache of ensuring that your business is putting out content that is professional, but it's trending and it's relevant.
Yeah. I think something also important to note is, while we are putting out this content, similar to how people will look at their financial books, their and
audits.
Yes, and all the time you're looking back and seeing, this is the amount that we made, this is the revenue we had coming in, this is how we spent it, this is the cost for acquiring a customer, and this is how much we are getting back from the customer. They look at all those nitty-gritties.
Yes.
The same has to be the case with social media.
Exactly.
So while you have your content calendar and you've put out the content and you've hired this person and they're doing an amazing job getting it out there, it's important to go back and review how is the engagement with this content. How did it achieve what we were hoping that it would achieve? And if not, what do we need to do differently?
Exactly. And I think most businesses are failing there.
Yes.
So you think that it's not important, or you hire a social media person and you let them run everything, and you cannot separate. It's like, and I like the way you've used the finance example. It is at the core of the business.
Yes.
Because then this social media, it's what is bringing in the revenues. It's what is growing the target audience. It is what is going to now say that, this financial year we grew, or we had this number of increased sales, this number of people, this number of increased clients because of something that you did on social media. So before, it was not a department that was not, it was a department that was probably non-existent, but now it's up there with like finance, and you cannot have a business without social media.
Very true. And I think when we're thinking about strategy for a business, it's important to have marketing strategy at its core. Just as we will look at the finance strategy, the growth, the strategy that will lead to growth, we look at all these different facets in the business, it's
Yeah.
important to also look at marketing.
Yeah.
And the advantage we have now with social media, I would say, is that as opposed to traditional marketing media, it's a lot more affordable.
Yes,
Because
yes,
billboards
yes.
start at upwards
Expensive.
of 100,000
Yeah,
for a
I
month.
remember.
TV ads, let's not even get
yeah.
into it. A minute of a TV ad on during prime time
Yeah,
is
expensive.
so
Even
expensive.
radio.
Yes.
You remember Kiss FM, it was like
Very expensive.
Yeah.
And now social media allows for anybody to have that platform. And yes, it's true that you might not start with 50,000 as your audience, but whatever amount of people you start with, that audience you have reached at almost no cost for your business.
Right.
And then the other thing that's important, I think, for social media is transparency that you would otherwise not have.
Yeah.
And a lot, like you said, people buy from people.
Exactly.
And they especially buy from people they like.
Exactly.
And people like you when they feel that they know you, they know what you're about, beyond just this product service you're selling. Who are you? What are you about? What is important to you? What are your values? And social media allows for brands to speak about that.
Exactly. And you see how now traditional structure of a business would have a sales and marketing department. You see how what we are talking about social media, it's something that is very specific. Actually, you could find marketing professionals who are really, they also don't know so much about the social media, the digital marketing space. So even when you're hiring for your business, you'd rather hire someone, like when you're thinking about investing, the talent that you're bringing to your organization, you'd rather hire someone who can navigate this social media, whatever, even if they don't have a degree. Because this person might be very good with the TikToks, and they can keep up with the trends, and they are probably a better resource to you than hiring someone, someone with a degree, and they have all this experience. They probably will not know to navigate the space as someone who knows the ins and outs of social media. I think that this social media space has also opened up opportunities for people, because then the traditional sales and marketing is not does not really work anymore nowadays. Yeah,
that's very true. I don't know if you have anything more to add in closing before we allow people to give in their last comments.
All right. So in closing, I just want to reiterate something that we said earlier, that we remember that people would buy products and services from people that they like, from people that they connect with. So beyond that, Simone sells cakes. I want to know, like, do you love hiking? Do you love doing X, Y, Z? So other than the business, if there's another thing or another angle of yourself that that you're comfortable sharing, I feel that also like really helps, so that then when you're pushing your brand, you could be talking about, like, now for example, like on my Instagram page, I'm also very big on family, and like the values, is because it's something that I really love. So if you go on my Instagram page, you'll see a lot of CV things, you'll see things about family, and then you'll also see things on my kids. So there are people who will follow me on Instagram because of what I post about family, then they end up getting the CV service, for example. So also, like, like having different angles to it. The other thing that could also work would be a podcast. It's something that I started very recently, but I've been getting like very good like feedback, and even what can I say? Like, I've also seen increased engagement because of it. So as we had mentioned earlier, if you feel video and like things like that are you're not comfortable with that, you could think about a podcast. That you also remember, even if you have 100 followers or 200 followers, you are an influencer in your own capacity. You have a business, so you are the influencer for your business. So you cannot wake up or a whole week cannot pass and you've not shared something on social media about your business, unless you're not really serious about that business. And if you already have an established business and you find all this, all this social media and posting and TikTok, it's really something that you cannot understand, that's fine. Get someone, what can I say? You could now invest in acquiring that talent. You have to get someone who is really good at it. Tell them what your vision is, tell them the message that you want to put out, and now you and this person can work together to put out content that is fun, that is trendy, that is going to be relevant. And then the last thing, if you forget everything that I've said, you have to be consistent with your content. So you cannot post one thing, like once a month. The content has to be there. It has to be consistent, and it has to be like well thought out, but then it also has to be consistent. The very, very last thing, sometimes we want things to be very perfect before we put them out on social media. And me, I think I can get a medal for this. If you go to a lot of my content, it's not perfect. Like others, like I don't know, like the quality is not good, the sound has a problem, I messed up somewhere midway. But one of the things I decided to do from like very early on, even if something is not so perfect, just put it out, because then you'll keep getting better with time. There are people, and I'm sure there are people watching me right now, you've created a lot of content, but it's somewhere in your laptop, because then you feel it's not good enough, it's not perfect. You are waiting for this perfect moment and this perfect day to share out that content. Please don't do that, because it's going to kill your business. You not putting out content out there might actually be the thing that kills your business, or ensures that your business does not grow. So even if it's not so perfect, put it out. You'll keep perfecting it. Like none of us started off like so perfectly. Like everyone starts somewhere. So that's all that I had for today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Joan. I think I will now just turn the camera a little bit so that you can see me. So thank you so much, Joan, for that session. I can attest that we have all enjoyed. We have learned quite a bit, and we will be taking a lot of pointers and implementing them. I think I speak for everyone when I say that the thing that we are taking away here is that organic growth is a lot more important than promoting our social media pages, because then it allows us to attract the right audience.
Right.
That consistency is key, and it will allow us to build trust. That when people continue to see our content and there is a lot of transparency on our pages, then they learn to trust our businesses, they trust our products, our services, our processes, and they then connect with us.
Yeah.
And I think trust is important when you're building a brand online. Like you said, people buy from people, and especially people they like.
Yeah.
That is my big takeaway today. Okay. So thank you so much, Joan, for your time and your expertise. For those of you who don't know, Joan is actually running a special 50% offer on CVs and makeovers, CV makeovers, between, I think, started this Monday to the 5th of December. So you can check out details on her social media pages. I had shared her LinkedIn page where you can see all this info. And also Nairobi Garage, to show our gratitude to you, are extending a free day pass to all the attendees to test out our spaces. So we'll share more information on how you can book a day pass to work at any Nairobi Garage location. Yeah, but thank you, everybody. We've enjoyed this session. I hope each of you have gained a lot, and we look forward to engaging a little bit more later. We do have workshops lined up every Tuesday, so stay tuned for more. And thank you so much.